This is Luka Vujičić, and this is a Step Over podcast.
Hey Ottawa, welcome to the Step Over podcast, Ottawa's grassroots soccer podcast. How's it going? My name is Josh. I'm your host. Thanks for joining. This episode, we're diving right in. A few weeks ago, the big club Atletico Ottawa announced they were starting up a development program, more under the umbrella of Atletico de Madrid, but certainly run by Atletico Ottawa. And what it is it sounds like they're inviting players from the area to basically keep an eye on, have them train in a professional environment. You know, they could be already playing with League One Ontario clubs, PLSQ clubs, OPDL clubs, but now they'll also have an opportunity to have these training sessions, with Atletico. And from what I understand, the players who will be participating, might fluctuate, might be a little fluid, but it sounds like a great way to, without having the funds for an academy right now, being able to keep a very close eye on, the up-and-comers from probably mostly players based on Ottawa, but, it could be players from Peterborough or Kingston or as far as Montreal, players who are high caliber and are able to make the trip to Ottawa, every week or two. So there's no public list that I'm aware of players who are participating, but one player that we do know is Luka Vujičić. He's a goalkeeper from Ottawa, and he's recently committed to Queen's University to play for them. And he has a very interesting story about his last 2 years, essentially, looking for playing time, playing in Serbia. Luka's a great storyteller, so I'm going to let him get into it. So here's my chat with Luka Vujičić. Let's start with the basics, Luka. Can you state your full name, your age, and the position that you play?
My name is Luka Vujičić. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a goalkeeper.
Fantastic. And you're from Ottawa originally, is that right?
Yeah, born and raised in Ottawa.
Okay. So what part of Ottawa did you grow up in?
I actually grew up in Barrhaven my whole life, the same house. But
really?
my parents are originally from Serbia, and they came in 1997.
Okay. In Barrhaven, was there did you have any hangout spots where people could usually find you when you weren't on the field?
In Barrhaven?
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want to catch me in Barrhaven, you'll either catch me running or biking around the block, because I had the big amount of people just come at me and say, "Oh, I saw you biking," or "I saw you running," and stuff like that. And a lot of people question why I do that stuff. Like, I would bike from Barrhaven all the way to Gatineau and back, and people are like, "Are you crazy? Like, why do you do this stuff?" And it's just that I just like to train, and I don't know. I developed that mentality from when I was in Europe, that training mentality. And I don't know, I just like being productive and just improving myself.
I mean, I can appreciate that. I like to bike too. Do you do that routes, you're kind of going up Prince of Wales and up the canal?
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beauty ride. Okay, so growing up, what was your club team in Ottawa?
Club team. So I actually started off with Nepean Hotspurs when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I started out as a goalkeeper.
Okay.
And then I was a player for about a year again. When I was about, I think, 8 years old. I was a player for about a year, and then I switched it up and I started being a goalkeeper again for a year. And then when I was 10, I joined it was at that time it was called Ottawa Royals Futuro, but obviously now it's called St. Anthony's Futuro. And I was with them for about 2 to 3 years, and that's when that's where I really developed a lot at Futuro. And I actually ended up going on trial with the Montreal Impact Academy. And so it was actually a trial there was about 7 trials, and there would be a lot of people getting cut each trial. There were 2 trials in Ottawa and then 5 trials in Montreal. And it was about 5 months of just trialing, going back and forth to Montreal and stuff like that. And then it was between me and 2 other pre-academy goalkeepers. And at that time, they would always take most of the pre-academy goalkeepers and stuff like that. And they actually ended up taking me. So, and then I ended up joining the Montreal Impact from 2015 to 2017. And then after that, That was actually when I was 12 and 13 years old, and I was attending a French school at the same time in Quebec, and it was really hard, like, to transition. And like, I went to a French school in Ottawa, but it was like a big transition to go to a French school in Quebec. But yeah, so I was there for a year and a half, and then I came back to OSU for about 3 years, and then after that, that's when COVID hit, and I decided I was actually supposed to go to SC Braga in April of 2020, but obviously because of the pandemic, I wasn't able to go. And I actually went the year before. I went to SC Braga for 2 weeks, and they liked what they saw, so they invited me back. But obviously because of the pandemic, I couldn't go, so I had to see my options. And then I saw that in Serbia, COVID wasn't a problem at all. At the time, weren't people wearing masks in Serbia, and everything was open. So in June of 2020, I decided to go to Serbia, and that's from when I started playing in Europe, basically.
You covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Braga. So that's a name that like a lot of people will recognize and know. Like how did you get connected with them?
Actually, I had a goalkeeper trainer called Carlos Lima. He's actually the owner of NGA. And I was training with him. I started training with him since I was 14 years old, actually. And then I think it was like a year in training with him. And then he decided that he wanted to contact some clubs in Europe or Portugal to give me a chance. And then he actually got SC Braga to see me for 2 weeks. And that was pretty crazy. So I went there when I was 15. And I was there for 2 weeks. And then I was really happy with the experience. And I saw that after that, I realized that I could play in Europe. Like, it wasn't a debate anymore. Like, it was my second time playing in Europe. I actually played in like a tournament in France before that, when I was 12 years old at the Impact. But that was my first time actually trialing for a club in Europe. And it's not at the end of the day, it's SC Braga. It's a Europa League team in Portugal. At the end of the day, it's a big club. So it was a good experience for me to be there for 2 weeks. And the fact that they invited me back again to come, that was really huge for me. It was a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. And not only that, like, you're 15, which always just blows my mind when people go abroad at such a young age. What was that like? Were you nervous to go? Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, honestly, it was nerve-wracking, because at the end of the day, it was the first time that I went somewhere where I didn't understand the language. Because when I went to Montreal, I already knew French, and when I went to Serbia, I knew Serbian. But like, there is complete different language, so I had trouble. Like, how you have to call out cones, red, blue, orange. I didn't know anything, so I was just basically lost the whole time. But I was still able to adjust, and it went well. Like, the goalkeeper coach was happy with me. I was happy with the training. I did really well. I gave it 110%, and I was happy.
The pandemic hit. You had to leave Braga, but it kind of resulted in a pretty interesting past like year and a half. It sounds like being in Europe. Can you tell us
that was a year and a
about...
half. I was in Serbia for a year and a half. I was in SC Braga just for a trial for 2 weeks, but I was in Serbia for a year and a half.
That's right. Yeah. So can you tell us a bit about like who you were playing with and what that was like?
Oh yeah. Okay. So this one's gonna be long, but
Go ahead.
We're
on a podcast. It's fine.
Yeah. But also, I didn't mention also that was actually, I forgot to mention, because you asked like what clubs I moved on to and stuff like that. I was actually part also with the 2015 the Non-Nations Cup Canada team that went to Morocco.
Okay.
And yeah, I was part of that team that finished 6 out of 32 teams, and that was also a big accomplishment for me, because at the end of the day, they're only looking for one goalkeeper across the whole of Canada, and I was that goalkeeper chosen when I was 12 years old, and they choose goalkeepers from 10 and 12 years old, and I think that was something really big for me. And I don't care that it's a fact that it was like 7 years ago. I'll still talk about it today, because it was something really big for me. And so for a 12-year-old to do that, I think that was crazy. Yeah. But back on from what happened to Serbia. So yeah, I flew out to Serbia in June of 2020, because one of the reasons were because obviously what happened with Portugal, everything was closed, and Serbia seemed like a big option. But and I have a lot of family in Serbia, obviously, right? And I can easily get my citizenship there. And at the same time, I was actually in contact with an agent in Serbia, and he saw my videos from my highlights from my when I was playing with OCO PDL, and then he was shocked, like like he was really shocked. He liked what he saw, and then he wanted me to come there as soon as possible. Like he was even suggesting that I come live with him at the same time. But obviously, my dad didn't want that. My dad was like, "Oh no, it's okay. We can just go by ourselves, get our cousins find us an apartment and stuff like that." So yeah, so we came there, and I landed there June 15th, and then as soon as I landed there, the agent was we didn't even see him yet, and already he wasn't really answering text messages like he used to before. He's being a little like slow or a little dry on text and stuff like that. And then we finally got to meet him and stuff like that. And then he was talking about, okay, I'll get you a trial with this club in Serbia. And then it was like a top club. I don't think there's a point of me saying the name of the club really, because at the end of the day I didn't get the chance. But it was a top club in the country, and he was suggesting that I'd be in the first team, not even academy, like first team. So yeah. And then what happened basically after that was he wanted to see me. He want first, before he gave me the trial, he wanted to see me train first. So we did a 1v1 goalkeeper session, and this is basically right after COVID hit, right after me coming fresh off the plane, me still being jet lagged. This is the second day I'm in Serbia, and then this is basically what happened. That was when I was in Novi Sad, Serbia, actually. And we actually drove all the way to a village near Novi Sad. It was about, I don't know, 45 minutes away from the city, to a random field. And then he just brought a bunch of balls. And then what we did, what we did was crazy, actually. He would just make me tired the whole time. And there was even a time I couldn't believe my eyes. Like there was even a time where he like make me he just throw the ball and I would just dive left, right, left, right, left, right. But I'd be going forward at the same time, right? And we would do that all the way. We would do that from the goal line all the way to half and back without any breaks. And then after going there and back without no breaks, just diving left and right like a maniac, he would question me like, "Why are you tired?" and stuff like that. This is just the warm up and stuff like that. And then after that, we just did a couple more drills and stuff like that. But I saw he was just trying to make me tired and stuff like that. And then after the session, he's like, "Oh, okay, you're not fit. We're gonna have to get you a personal trainer and stuff like that." And he says, "Oh, I'm gonna be outside the city. I'm gonna be in Slovenia for a while, so you can find a personal trainer yourself. Get fit, and then maybe we can contact me again and stuff like that." But it's weird how his energy changed that way, because how his energy really changed from before, how he was so interested. And then the second I come to Serbia, he didn't see me yet, but his energy just changed a lot. So we saw that at the end of the day, we saw that you have to understand, this guy saw that we're from Canada and that maybe he can get some money out of us and stuff like that. And then that's basically what he probably wanted. He probably wanted us to pay him and stuff like that to find a club or something like that.
And so do you think he was trying to scam you or something?
Yeah, I think he really just wanted money, because obviously he sees that we're from Canada.
Yeah.
And then he sees that like as a golden opportunity to get money, obviously. So obviously it was pretty obvious. So yeah. And after that, so that's what basically happened at the end of the day. I had an agent in Serbia that gave up on me in 2 days. The first 2 days I was in Serbia, my agent gave up on me. He said, "You're too slow, you're unfit," and just gave up on me. He said, you basically told my dad, he said, "That's Serbia for you. Like, I'm done with you." That's basically what he said. So so imagine a 17-year-old kid that goes overseas, and it's his first time, like not his first time playing overseas, but like just trying to pursue a career in Europe. and you get cut from your agent in 2 days. Your agent just gives up on you. Imagine that.
So like, I know this isn't the end of your story, but like, what were you feeling at that point?
That I really didn't know. Like I didn't know what I was thinking at that time, but I didn't know. I was like, in my head, I was thinking like, I wasn't thinking about giving up. I really don't know what I was thinking. I was a little bit lost at that time. I was questioning myself as a goalkeeper. Like I was questioning, am I even cut out for this? Like maybe like I'm only cut out to play in Canada. Maybe I can't play in Europe. Who knows? Maybe I'm just not for this level and stuff like that. So yeah, and then actually after that, it was crazy. My dad, actually we were in Novi Sad. So my dad actually wanted us. My uncle found us a goalkeeper trainer in Belgrade. So we would have to drive 1 hour all the way to Belgrade and back just for like a 1 hour goalkeeper session, because in Novi Sad there wasn't really anything. There wasn't. It's a small city. Mm-hmm. It's like comparing, I guess, like Belgrade is basically Toronto for Canada. Like it has like everything for like for football. Like it has everything basically. So yeah, we go to Belgrade for some goalkeeper training, and then obviously it was my first real goalkeeper session in Serbia. So I get there, and then I do the session, and then I think I did pretty well for myself. I thought I did like really well and stuff like that. And then after the session, like the goalkeeper trainer said, like you have like a weird style of techniques and stuff like that. Like you don't dive like everyone else. Like I don't know who taught you this. I don't know who taught you that. And then my dad actually didn't want to tell me at the time, but the goalkeeper trainer actually told my dad after that session. He told my dad to actually go back to Canada as soon as you can. That's basically what he told him, and that was crazy. But it's good that he didn't tell me at the time, because imagine if I knew at the time, like another goalkeeper trainer saying that I should go back to Canada. Yeah, so that happened, and then I just kept on training with him until I could find a club. So I just kept on training, and then I actually got a call to go to preseason with a club called FK Proleta Novi Sad, and this is a club in Novi Sad. They played in the Superliga at that time. They're actually now relegated into the second division, but at that time they were playing in the first division. And I got called into the preseason there. So basically, I was there training for 2 weeks, and I was really surprised. Like they liked what they saw, and they wanted me to stay there. And then so the plan for me was to stay there while I can get papers. And once I could get my papers, I could sign my contract. So during that time, it was still my senior year, but this was during COVID. So I was doing online school, and I was playing for that pro team at the same time. So I was with that Serbian. That was the first team. That's the first team as well. So I was with that team, training with them 7 months constantly, training with the first team at the pros, the first division every day. 7 months training with them, and the plan was. And then when it came to January of 2021, I finally got my my Serbian papers. Everything was ready. I was finally able to sign, because I don't know if you're aware, there's that rule where you can't sign a professional contract under 18 if you're not from that country. Do you know that rule?
You know, I didn't. No.
Yeah, it's actually a rule where you can't sign it in another country that you're not born in,
okay.
Unless if you have citizenship, you can, but you have to be over 18 to sign in any other country. So, but I had citizenship, so I was able to sign at 17. So the papers came in January 2021. They were ready to sign me, to give me a contract. The only thing that was missing, they had to ask Montreal Impact and OSU for them to sign the training compensation that they're not going to look for money. I don't know if you're aware of the FIFA training compensation rule. Basically states that every club that you played for, when you until you're 23, any pro contract that you sign, those clubs that you trained for before can all ask for a bunch of money, basically. Okay. Yeah. So I played for Montreal Impact for a year and a half. And I played for OSU for 3 years, and it adds up. Also, don't forget, it adds up every year. So let's say Serbia is probably category 2 of UEFA, so maybe it's like 30K a year. So imagine it adds up 30K. So OSU 30K, 60K, 90K, Montreal Impact 30K or to 45K a year and a half. And imagine I'm just giving an example, but all that money adds up, and that's a lot of money. So basically what happened is OSU and Montreal Impact were asking for training compensation. They wanted money from the club that wanted to sign me. And the club in Serbia, they weren't interested at all. They basically said they're not going to give a cent. They're like, this kid's 17 years old. We obviously they don't know my potential. At the end of the day, also Serbia, there's not that much money. And if you're going to ask for 40,000 euros for a kid from Ottawa to be your third keeper at 17, who's going to pay that? No one. Because in Serbia, they don't buy players. In Serbia, they get players for free. They get young players and they sell them to top 5 leagues. That's how they make their money. They're not, obviously, who would in their right mind pay for a 17-year-old goalkeeper for 50K? Come on. And that's just the truth. But at the end of the day, I think they do have the right through FIFA. Montreal Impact and OSU do have the right to ask for money, but no one's going to pay for that at the end of the day. So that's why talks broke down for me to sign with this club. So after training with them for 7 months, I was now left without a club. And from there, I really didn't. It's not that I didn't know what to do, but I was stuck in a position where now I know, I can't sign anywhere. I could sign in the CPL. In the CPL, there's no training compensation because it's obviously a new league. But I can't sign anywhere in Serbia, obviously, or anywhere else in Europe, or else they can just keep on asking money and no one's going to want to pay that. So how am I going to sign a pro contract? And this goes on until I'm 23. So what am I going to do? So at that point, I was without a club for 4 months, just training, just doing private training, basically with my goalkeeper trainer every day. That was basically it in Novi Sad, just doing private training, going to the gym. And at the same time, I got called up to sessions. I don't know if you're aware of the club FK Vojvodina. No, it's basically it's like a top club. They play in the UEFA Conference League, I think last year. And yeah, it's a top club in Serbia. And so I was training with them a bit during that time also. And then it came to June 2021, where I was finally looking for a club. And during that time I was going everywhere, really, just trialing, seeing my options. I was just looking for somewhere where I'll get playing time, because that's what I was looking for the most, and some good environment, stuff like that. And then there's actually no, he wasn't even an agent. He's just he's a director of an academy. He's a director of the academy where I was doing my goalkeeper training with that goalkeeper coach. That goalkeeper coach works for that academy, but that director of the academy was basically watching me throughout when I was doing those private trainings, or he knew about me. He was talking to my dad about me. He's saying I'll find him a club and stuff like that. You should trust me and stuff like that. And it was going on for a whole year actually, where he was talking to us, where he's gonna find me a club one day and stuff like that. And then it actually came a time where we got a random phone call from this guy, and he basically told us that I'll have a trial the next day with a club called FK Čukarički, if you're aware of them. No. So this is also a top club. They finished third this season. The first team, they finished third in the Serbian Superliga, and they'll be playing in the UEFA Conference League as well. And so he got me the chance to play, and got me a chance to trial there. And basically what he told them, the director there, he said basically, I know this kid that's better, that's 10 times better than all your goalkeepers there, and I can bring him tomorrow. If you don't like him, you can cut him right away. If you like him, then you can keep him and you can see him at preseason. And that's basically what he said. This guy is someone that's really hardworking, and that's actually helped me a lot. And he actually played for the Yugoslavian futsal national team. Before it split up in the 1990s, he was playing for the Yugoslavian futsal national team. Oh, wow. So okay. So he's pretty well known there in Serbia. Yeah. So the next day he drives me there. I go on trial with this club. And then after the first session, they looked happy, and I got invited to preseason. So this is the academy, obviously, because I can't obviously sign a pro contract. But this is also, at the end of the day, it's the third biggest academy in the whole country, and that's really something big. So I was really happy with that, to get invited into preseason. And then so while I was at preseason, it was me, and there was one more goalkeeper, basically, just on the team at the time. But that goalkeeper was all already there for about 3 years. And so yeah, and then the preseason was that like military training where it's like all hardcore, like just
Yeah, like Marines, that
fitness.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that. But at the same time, you have a guy screaming at you the whole time. That was basically my preseason. Like, you would just be tired doing all these drills, and you have a guy screaming at you the whole time, because this was a really strict goalkeeper coach and stuff like that. And I remember like the whole week, I was again. This was again a time where I was questioning myself as a goalkeeper, if I'm good enough and stuff like that. Because the whole week he was telling me, you're stiff, you're slow, you don't have this, you're missing that. Look at him, look how he does this, look how you do it, stuff like that. That's all like getting in my head again and stuff like that. And then I was again just questioning myself, and like questioning if I should be here, or if I deserve to be here and stuff like that. And then it came the day where we had a game versus FK Partizan, if you're aware of that. You know Red Star Belgrade?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's the biggest two clubs in Serbia. It's Red Star Belgrade and FK Partizan. These are the two clubs that are basically rivals. You can look online, like the fans are like crazy. It's like crazy rivals, basically. And this is basically the second biggest club in Serbia. In my opinion, it's the second biggest club in Serbia. And so we had a preseason game against them. And obviously, I'm new there. I didn't start the game. They played 60 minutes, and in the 59th minute, the other goalkeeper concedes a goal. So we're losing 1-0, and the goalkeeper concedes a goal. And when that goalkeeper concedes the goal, you know how in preseason how they just have like two different lineups. Like, let's say in the last 30 minutes they'll put a whole complete lineup, because it's just like all about playing time, right? Just for them to see you and stuff like that. So after they conceded that goal, like the coach was kind of like fed up or whatever, like, and then he just said like to put the second lineup. So they put a whole lineup of obviously like the players that usually get less playing time, and they put me. I was new there. And then so what happened? I got into game. I think after just like 5 minutes, there was a penalty, a PK, a penalty kick actually awarded against us. And so I didn't even get a proper warm up or anything, and I was actually unmotivated the whole week. I was questioning myself, but like I just tried to focus and save the pen, and that's exactly what happened. I saved the pen, and right after that, I got a whole like adrenaline. Like, I just saved a pen kidding. I saved a pen 5 minutes in, just got in after against one of the biggest clubs in Serbia. This is something crazy. So this is something I never experienced before. So after I saved the pen, like, I couldn't believe myself, but I was having so much adrenaline at the same time. So after that, I felt so loose. Like, during the week, I was so tense. I was questioning myself. But after that, I was feeling loose. And then after that, they actually had 3 1v1s on me. Three 1v1s in a short the 25 minutes that were left. Because they had all that team, Partizan, they had all their good players on. And basically, we had like all the players that don't get playing time. They're they're a little like worse than the other players that were playing. So they're just getting more and more chances. And I ended up saving 3 more 1v1s. And then after that, I just felt like so good. And then like other players from the Partizan, like, they're congratulating me. They're happy how I did. Players from my team, everyone, people that they never even talked to me, they came up to me. They were so happy. Like, everyone, even, and then after we end up going obviously to the hotel, eating and stuff like that. And this was the morning after. So the goalkeeper coach that was basically talking shit to me the whole week, saying you can't do this, you can't do that, or questioning me and stuff like that. And saying I shouldn't be here and stuff like that. I was just eating. He comes behind me, just taps my shoulder. I turn around. I just see he winks at me, and then he walks away. And then after that, it was even a better feeling. Like, we're waking up like that in the morning. Like, this guy was talking shit to me the whole week. And the next morning he comes and he winks at me. And I'm just like, it's crazy. It was a good feeling. And yeah, so from there, like, his whole energy changed towards me. And that was the game that basically just gave me the position in the team for me to sign with that team. So after that game, I already knew they were gonna sign me. It wasn't a question. They're even telling me, the director was even telling me not to go to Partizan, because Partizan saw how I played that game, and they wouldn't hesitate also to take me if I was away from that club. So I ended up signing with that team, and I spent from there. I was there from July to December, actually. And then I had problems again with this registration. I had problems again because the OSU had to give them a paper again that they're not going to look for money for if they sign me as an academy player. And OSU was fine with that. But OSU said, if they ever want to sign me as a professional player and give me a professional contract, then they can look for money again. And so I had problems with that. And obviously this club, when they saw that, they're like, okay, we're not going to sign this guy. We're not going to pay 40, 50,000 for this goalkeeper. Why would you do that when we have a homegrown keeper that's already here for 3 years and we can just keep him? Like, what would be the point of just paying for him? So because of that, like, obviously I was just basically pushed to the side. I wasn't given any minutes, basically. And I was just on as a second keeper, and they didn't take me as seriously then because they knew what was coming at them if they wanted to sign me a pro contract. So they were like, why bother even put him to play, And then so after that, I came back to Canada in December of 2021. And from there I was debating, what am I going to do? If I'm going to play, where am I going to play? If I'm going to play in the CPL, if I'm going to go back somewhere to Europe. But I had problems with that papers. I was debating a lot of what I'm going to do. And I soon realized, like, while I was in Serbia, I realized a lot of stuff. I realized at the end of the day, even if you're a professional, people think when you're a professional, you're going to be counting money every day. At the end of the day, it's not like that. In Serbia, it's a less developed country. There's some players there in the first division that make about 600, 700 euros a month. Like, and then what happens if you break your leg, or what happens when you retire at 35? What do you do after at the end of the day? And that's I really realized, like, while I was in Serbia, a lot of things opened my eyes. And when I came to Canada, I realized, like, a lot of stuff. I learned a lot. And I think there's nothing better than getting an education and playing at the same time. I think there's nothing better than that. Like, it's really perfect. And especially at this age, I'm still, as a goalkeeper, I'm 19. I'm still young. I think I still have a lot of time. So there's nothing better than getting an education and playing at the same time. Like, I don't think there's anything better than that. And also, I want to start off my career, obviously, in the CPL. And the OUA draft is the best way to get into the CPL. So I think that was obviously a no-brainer. I think that was the best option for me. And Queens, I think, is the perfect place for me. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this new chapter, to be honest with you.
Okay, so you've committed to Queen's University. Like, what? You said you feel like that's the best place for you. Why do you feel that? Like, what drew you to the program at Queen's?
Because honestly, I like when I went through the campus, when I saw the facilities they have, when I also heard, like, how hard it is actually to get into the school. I was pretty surprised I even got into the school. It's pretty hard to get into Queens, but I also like the team. The team, I heard that they're really, like, close bonded, and yeah, I'm just really excited for it. And it was honestly the best option for me also, because I heard something that the 2 fifth-year keepers, that they graduated, so there was, like, an open spot for me to fight to be first goalkeeper. So that was also attractive to me. But obviously, I didn't just go there for football. I also saw it was a great place for me to study and get education. Like, So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for it because also I think a lot of people are surprised that I'm even going to university. I think a lot of people didn't even think that I would even want to graduate high school. I was always talking about going to Europe like so soon. Like I just wanted to play. I wasn't ever really interested in school and stuff like that. I was always thinking about the future and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's why I was really happy with this because at the end of the day, I proved a lot of people wrong. Like a lot of people were surprised for me to even get into Queens.
Yes, what program did you join?
I'm going to be doing poli-sci actually.
Okay. Does politics kind of interest you then?
Yeah, I actually love politics. I mean, politics runs in my family, and I don't know. I kind of got into politics because my mom, and she was actually a lawyer back in Serbia, but obviously if she wants to be a lawyer here, she has to go through school again and stuff like that. But I'm just really interested in politics. I just really like it.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so you talked about the U Sports draft being, really attractive to you. So, players in the past, when they've gotten to your age, like, I don't think that like staying in Canada seemed like a great option for them. At least I don't think that they felt that way if they wanted to go on to play pro. But now it seems like that there are more doors open. Like there's a CPL, there's the draft, there's more opportunities to get eyes on players. So I guess what is it about? Like, do you know people who have gone through the U Sports draft? Like, why do you think that going to an OUA school, like a U Sports school, is a good way to get eyes on you and continue developing towards a pro career?
Well, yeah, obviously there's been a lot of players that have been drafted. I think pretty sure Matteo Debrian got drafted from his first year, got drafted into Valor from Carleton.
Oh, so that was actually a big source of controversy here because he was in the draft and then he got out of the draft because they just signed him straight up to a pro contract.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
I saw that.
Obviously the eyes were still on him. So
yeah, exactly. So obviously I didn't just use that example, but I think for myself, I'm confident in my ability that I can do it too. And coming off fresh, playing in Europe for a year and a half, playing with professionals, playing in the pro academy. I mean, I think it wouldn't be a surprise for me to get drafted. I think I'm really confident in my ability that I can get drafted, and I'm just really excited. I actually know that there hasn't been a player from Queens that has been drafted yet, and I see that as a challenge. I would like to be one of the first players to get drafted from Queens into the CPL. I think that'd be something really big.
Oh, interesting. You want to be the first one, eh?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, right on. So a lot of players also try to catch on with like a League One Ontario team or like a PLSQ team during the off season. Do you think that's something that you're going to pursue?
That I've actually played before. I've been called up to a couple of League One games when I was 16 with the OSU. But yeah, I personally think because right now there's no League One Ontario team in Ottawa. Like the OSU, they play in the PLSQ. Yeah, but they're not, obviously, like each year it's basically the same thing. They're not really doing well. They've always finished at the bottom of the table, so it's not really a good look for you, like at the end of the day. But I had an opportunity to go into the USL League 2, but I would honestly rather stay in Ottawa because I was really homesick at the same time. But being a year and a half in Serbia, like that's a year and a half straight of not seeing my mom. That was way too much for me. So I had to stay with my mom.
You miss mom's cooking?
Yeah, exactly. And my mom, like she was talking about how she couldn't sleep and stuff like that. She's not even it's not that she's not happy, but she would obviously rather me be at home now and she would rather me go to Carleton, obviously, like because I remember there's a time where we're driving past Carleton and then she was just telling me like you could have been biking to Carleton every day. You should have stayed here and stuff like that. Like look how close the school is and stuff like that. So I can see that she doesn't like it that I'm moved far away. But out of all places I've been to Montreal, I've been to Novi Sad, I've been to Belgrade. I think that basically Kingston, it's the closest destination out of all of them. It's maximum 2 hours, so it's not really that far, and that's something I wanted. I wanted somewhere that's not too far, but somewhere where I can have my own life. You get what I mean?
Okay, that's totally fair. Okay, so you've also been training with Atletico Ottawa, I hear.
Yes.
How has that been
Yes.
going?
Yes, it's been going good. I really like the goalkeeper coach, and I really like his goalkeeper sessions, to be honest with you. And I like the environment at Atletico. I think they have a really nice stadium, and honestly, like that's something I would like too. Like why wouldn't you want homegrown players to play at your club? And I think that would be the best for me to start off my pro career in Ottawa. I think that'd be really cool, to be honest. That's also something I wanted that at the Fury, because when I was 15, I got invited to train with Fury a couple of times. I got called up over and over, and that was something big. Being only 15 years old and getting called to the first team, that was something big, and that's something I had in my head. Like I really wanted to start my pro career in Ottawa, and then obviously take off. But obviously, we all know what happened with Fury, how I'm not sure what happened. They lost licensing or something like that, where they folded. And then Atletico Ottawa came a couple months later. But yeah, I was really hoping that I could start off my pro career in Ottawa. I think that'd be something really big. So
That would
start
be
my
fantastic.
like
Yeah.
officially. Obviously, I played with professionals like overseas, but to actually have a contract and to be on that roster and to get games and to put my name on for myself.
So you've been training with Atletico Ottawa's new development team group. Like, have you spoken with the coaches about like what you can expect in the future? What is that group kind of building towards?
I think personally they haven't said too much, but I think they're looking for players that are U21, U23, homegrown from Ottawa to basically come just a few sessions a week just to come there and to get some exposure. And I don't know, it's not only Atletico Ottawa. I think they mentioned something with Atletico Madrid too, because we're actually wearing Atletico Madrid jerseys. It wasn't Atletico Ottawa, it's Atletico Madrid. So I think it's something affiliated also with Atletico Madrid, and they just want young ballers in Ottawa to have exposure, basically.
Okay. So I just got a few quick questions for you before I let you go. Okay.
No problem.
Okay. So did you have a favorite player when you were growing up?
Yes, not a goalkeeper. It would be Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be basically not. It was basically because I could really relate to him as a person, because like I felt like he felt like an outsider. I felt like an outsider. We have both like Balkan backgrounds, and I feel like we don't have the exact same childhood, but like I feel like I could relate to him as a person as well. And I like his like attitude. There's no other player like him, and there's no other player like him. You can't say like there's anyone similar to him. He's really a unique person.
I mean, you can't argue with that.
Really like it. Yeah. I can relate, because he said something about him having a different last name, and then in Sweden, and people are treating him differently and stuff like that. Like I've been treated differently in Canada, but I've been treated way differently while I was in Serbia. While I was in Serbia, I was treated like way more of an outsider. Like I had people always telling me like, why am I here? Go back to Canada, stuff like that, like all the time. It was just a common thing for me, and that's why I can really relate to him.
What's your favorite sport besides soccer?
I'd say honestly tennis.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. I grew up playing like a lot in the summer, and also because I don't know if you know Djokovic or whatever, but yeah, I grew up playing a little bit of tennis, not competitive, but just playing a lot in the summer.
Okay. Do you have a favorite soccer field in Ottawa?
Field TD Place, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Well, honestly, I like the new Julian de Guzman Park.
Have you been there yet?
Yeah, I played like a lot of games there actually.
Oh, right on. I want to visit. Yeah. Like it looks really, really nice there.
Yeah.
Who is the best player that you've ever been on a field with?
Been on the field with. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. What do you mean?
We'll see.
Trained with or played with? Like trained or whatever.
Been on a field with.
Been on a field with. I wasn't supposed to say it, but I'm gonna say it either way. But I actually had Jonathan David shooting on me, I think, about like a week ago. We had 2 sessions with him.
And no way.
Basically, yeah, Jonathan David, and it was basically just a 1v1 session where he was shooting on me, and I was really happy how I did. I got to see where I'm at. And at the end of the day, this is like a top striker in Europe. That won the League One in France. That's the top scorer for his team. And I think he finished like top 6 in League One last season. And it was really good just to see like where I'm at. Like you have a top striker shooting at you in different angles, 1v1s, outside the box. And yeah, I really liked how I did against them. And I felt good after. And I saw where I'm at, and I like it where I'm at.
Is it like obviously different, having a guy of that quality take shots on you? Like, can you just kind of like tell, oh, this guy's like he's at a different level?
Yeah. But the thing is with me is I get really motivated when I have players like that shooting on me. I just get this motivation drive to like not let him get past me. And when I save one of his shots, I'm just gonna get motivated more and more and more. The thing is, the better the player is, the better I'll do. If you get what I mean, I'll have more drive to save his shots. Like if I'm gonna go against a player that plays in the 4th division in Uganda, like I'm not gonna have the same adrenaline when I save his shot compared to if I save a shot from a guy that plays in the 1st division in France. If you get what I mean.
What's your favorite pregame meal?
Pregame meal. I really don't even have a pregame meal. Like I would honestly, I'm pretty basic. I'll probably just eat like 2 bananas before a game, and that's about it. To be honest,
2 bananas done.
Yeah, that's it. Like I don't really have a ritual before a game. Like the only ritual I have is maybe touching a crossbar and then touching the floor and then touching left to right post before kickoff. Okay. But that's about it. I don't really like having rituals. I just like going with the flow.
Okay, right on. What's the better halftime snack? Oranges or watermelon?
No, definitely a watermelon. Definitely watermelon.
Yep. Okay. What's the last TV show you watched?
Last TV show I watched, probably Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, really? Like the old one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I probably watched it all 6 seasons probably 5 times.
That's fantastic.
All 6. Yeah.
Who has had the biggest impact on your career so far?
I would say no brainer. It would be my dad, because the stuff that my dad has done is actually insane. Where a lot of people around Ottawa that play football, they know my dad, and my dad has done a lot of sacrifices where it does motivate me. And it, like the stuff that he would do, when I was in Montreal, he dropped everything. He asked his job, because he's a software engineer. He asked his job if he can work from home so that he can be with me at Montreal. And then we rented out a small bachelor apartment in Montreal. And he would be there just working all day, just like alone, obviously. And then we were there just sharing one bed and stuff like that. He was sacrificing his whole life. Like he dropped everything in Ottawa just to be there alone, to work and to provide for me while I was in Montreal, to make my dreams work. Because he knew that being an MLS academy at that young, at 12 years old, that's something huge for him. And he's really motivated for that stuff. So that's something crazy. Like what some people's parents don't even want to drive them to training and stuff like that. Like my dad still watches my sessions. My dad's still the only parent that comes and watches my sessions. Is actually crazy. He was always the only parent watching the sessions. So like I really like that about him, how much he sacrificed for me. And also in Serbia, same thing. He dropped everything, came to Serbia. We're in a 1-bedroom apartment, and yeah, he would work there and provide for me. And he at the end of the day, he dropped everything that he had in Ottawa twice for a year and a half, so about 3 years, just so he can provide for me. So I think out of everyone, out of all the success I've had, it's his success at the end of the day. Because none of this would ever happen without my dad. I can say that. And I feel like I have the best dad in the world, and that's why it pushes me to work so hard every day. And that's the least I can do, is work hard when he provides so much for me.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So last question. Pie in the sky. You get to choose the club that you get to play for. Every club in the world wants you. You get to choose. What's the one club you'd love to play for one day?
OSU. No, I'm just joking. Let's say Red Star Belgrade or Liverpool.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
I
All right,
think
Luka.
Red Star Belgrade would be something big, to be honest, because they have Milan Borjan, Canadian, also there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
You could just follow him, you know?
yeah.
You know,
Why not?
he retires and you're right there.
Why not? That's what I like, honestly, because at the end, yeah, I feel like what I like the most is to prove people wrong, and I feel like when I came to Serbia, I proved a lot of people wrong because legit to go through. There's kids there that have been there their whole life, but haven't done what I've done in a short period of 1 year and a half. Because at the end of the day, I did train with a pro team that wanted to sign me, and I was with a top academy, and that's a lot of kids' dreams to be in those top academies. And I did that when coaches told me to go back to Canada, and I wasn't supposed to be there, and that I'm wasting my time and stuff like that. So that's why I like the most, is just to prove people wrong. I'm just gonna keep on proving people wrong.
I love it. All right, well, Luka, that's all the time I got for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to watching your career, watching your Queens, and you know, watching that draft and making sure you get to be the first Queens player to be drafted. That was our chat with Luka Vujičić. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm really looking forward to the upcoming U Sports season. We'll be watching Luka playing with Queens, and man, such a good high quality of football there. But I'm going to wrap things up. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining. If you have a moment, please like and subscribe wherever you can do that. Leave a comment or a rating. Feel free to get in touch, ask a question, say hi. Let me know who or what you want to hear on this podcast. Hey, you know, I love to learn. For this episode, my name is Josh. Thank you so much. We'll see you.